Hey guys, day 19 on the Justice Revolution. Once again, I'm going back and shooting a couple of videos, and so I just decided to put on a new t-shirt so that I'm not wearing all the same t-shirt for the last couple of videos. But today we were focusing on human trafficking and exploitation, and we heard another story about a couple guys who ended up starting an organization called Love 146. And the idea for this organization came from their trip to Southeast Asia, where they encountered human trafficking up close and personal. I'd like to read a small excerpt from what their thoughts were when they ended up going with this undercover mission that was trying to break up this brothel. And here's what they found after they entered into the brothel. It says, "We found ourselves standing shoulder to shoulder with predators in a small room, looking at little girls through a pane of glass. All of the girls wore red dresses with a number pinned on their dresses for identification. They sat blankly, watching cartoons on TV. They were vacant shells of the child that they should be. There was no light in their eyes, no life left. Their light had been taken from them. These children raped each night, 7, 10, 15 times every night. They were so young, too. 13, 11, it was hard to tell. Sorrow covered their faces with nothingness, except for one girl. One girl wouldn't watch the cartoons. Her number was 146. She was looking beyond the glass. She was staring out at us with a piercing gaze. There was still a fight left in her eyes. There was still life left in this girl. We later went back to look for her, but when we found that she was not to be found, we found out that we could not give up. We had to tell her that we were coming for her. It is an immensely difficult problem when an immediate response cannot address the emergency. And since we could no longer find her, we chose we would never forget her. She changed the course of all of our lives, and thus helped us start Love 146. This is from Robert Morris, who's the president and co-founder of Love 146. And the organization seeks to help free, especially girls, but free slaves from the human trafficking system and help pay their debts or just help get them out of this very, very devastating lifestyle. So our assignment today was to wear a sign that said "sold" on our chests all day, or some other place that was super obvious. I was at a speech and debate conference, and so I just took my name tag and wrote "sold" on the back of it and turned it around, which is kind of funny because I ended up having to walk around and go in and out of the judges' lounge, and I constantly had people asking me, "What's up with sold? What are you talking about?" And the best reaction was when I actually walked into a room to judge it, and I had forgotten to flip my name tag over. And the debaters came into the room, and they went up to shake my hand and said, "Hi, my name is Joe," or whatever it was. And they looked at my name tag, and it says "sold" on it, and they shot me a really funny look. But it gave me the opportunity to tell everyone that there's over 27 million children who still live in this lifestyle of slavery, where it's constant. Abuse is very prevalent, and it helps raise the awareness for such a terrible, terrible injustice, which is something we do need to fight. We were encouraged to read several different portions of Scripture, including two stories out of Genesis, one in chapter 34 where a girl was taken to be a prostitute, and as a result, the brothers of the girl got really, really angry with the people that did this, and decided to lie to them about that they would end up being friends. They end up killing all of them. And also in Genesis chapter 38, this one lady decides, hey, instead of being really honest about who I am, I'm going to go up to this other brother and pretend that I'm a prostitute and lie with him so that he will help me bear children, and so I'll preserve my line. And in both of these cases, we see two instances of human trafficking, where, in a sense, where people are prostituted, or they are given out to be used as objects. And the Bible does not at all encourage that. In fact, it casts shame on both of those. However, then we got to see the response of Jesus in John chapter 8 when he saw the prostitute and the woman that everyone wanted to kill. He says, all right, fine, let him let him who's without sin cast the first stone. And just this concept of, you know what, we as Christians need to take pity and really help those who are trapped in this lifestyle to come out of it. The people that we were staying with, the Osborne family, actually told us a story about how they had, when they were living in this one particular part of Tallahassee, they actually had a prostitute come up and just knock on their door, knock on their door, and she was trying to sell her services. And Mrs. Osborne immediately told her, "Do I look like someone who would even be interested in that?" And the woman was very ashamed, and as she turned to walk away, Mrs. Osborne told her, "But if you're willing, if you want to come in, I would be willing to talk to you." And she got to sit her down and explain the gospel and tell her that there was hope. There's hope for a better lifestyle than the one she was leading. And they were able to give her clothing and some food. And just, this was a real testimony and a real example of how we as Christians can take these people in, these lost and broken people, and show them that because of the gospel, they do not have to live trapped in this sin and trapped within this certain lifestyle. So I don't know how I can necessarily reach out, but I know that we as Christians, whether it's prostitutes, whether it's those stuck in human trafficking, but everyone, we live in a lost and broken world, and we need to be open and willing to reach out with open arms and love everyone, but above all else, teaching and commanding everything that God has asked us to do. So this is the end of day 19.